Alrighty then, hi everybody. I guess I'll get started here. I've had an interesting couple weeks. I wanted to share a few things today, one of which is a little bit of information about those of you who are turning up with thyroid issues, like myself. I think I mentioned that I went on some thyroid medication about a month ago, some Natrethroid, and kind of went back and forth with playing with that a little bit. It seemed to be helping, and then I think kind of things caught up with me last week. I had a lot on my plate with just day-to-day stuff. Internet connection hell, bank account hell, just a whole bunch of stuff. So I had kind of a few stressful moments there where I was not doing particularly well. And over the weekend, all this thyroid stuff caught up with me, and it really overstimulated my system. Bad. I think it's just still a little too much for me. I was on a pretty low dose of T3, and I was up for 2 days with no sleep. And oh my God, the pain was unbelievable. I had through my stomach, my joints, just unbelievable. Now I know I don't want to discourage a lot of you from trying it, because I know that a lot of people that have taken benzos and come off of them have turned up with thyroid problems. It seems to be pretty common, but use caution with everything, as I've told you before, because you're going to be really sensitive for a while. So I mean, I'm celebrating let's see, this month 17 months, almost a year and a half. Yay! So that's quite a while, and I'm still having issues. I never in a million years would have imagined that something that is available by prescription would have caused this much trouble for this long. And so for those of you who are still tapering in particular, because you're going to be way more sensitive, although I don't know, it's kind of a toss-up. There's certain things I'm more sensitive to now than there was when I was coming off benzos, although it just, the taper's hell no matter how you slice it. I don't envy you guys at all, because I'd hate to have to go back through it again, but I am doing a lot better. Since I went off the thyroid medication 3 days ago, I've slept good for 3 nights in a row, and yesterday was unbelievably good. Actually, I've had 3 really good days, yesterday being the best. I was driving around running errands, and I'm like, oh my God, I can see, I can think. I was like, this is amazing. I mean, other than just a few mild symptoms yesterday, tight muscles and, you know, the usual, some weirdness, but I felt really good. I did some writing last night, and just had a really nice day. I talked to my best friend on the phone for like 2 or 3 hours yesterday, and it just was a good day. It just felt good to be really present in my body for the first time in a really long time. I mean, I've had good days like that before, but this one, there was something about it that was particularly different, in that I didn't feel overly energized. I didn't feel underly energized. I felt good. There was a sense of calm or inner peace, or just this centeredness that I haven't felt in a really long time, that I just was kind of, every moment of yesterday I was like going wow, and I was cooking, and I would think, this feels good, and everything just felt good to be out and about and not feeling, I mean, I had to drop off a modem because I switched internet providers this week, which was not fun. And in the process of that, I had to take the modem back to the internet store. And I was in the store, and I remember just looking at people and feeling like my old self, like I wanted to talk to people and engage, which, as you all know, have come off this drug, when you're tapering in particular, and even after for a while, it's like public places, just let me out, that was the way I was when I'd go to the grocery store. Like every time I'd crawl there, and then I would freak out, rush, throw stuff in my grocery cart, and then rush back out. So it's not a fun place to be, and I don't envy you guys because I've been through it, and that's why I share these videos and my blogs on my website and music and everything, because I'm hoping that in some small way it does help you guys, because I know there's I get posts and emails and correspondence from all over the place in different countries. UK, there's a couple women that I talk with on Facebook over there that are really struggling, and I feel badly. This whole system is so bizarre with these medications and the healthcare system and whatnot. So I wanted to just share a little bit about thyroid stuff with you and how my progress was coming. I think what I'm planning on doing is just kind of leaving it alone. I am still on the estrogen, which has helped a lot. I think it's helping me sleep better. So the Biest I'm cool with. That I've been on for a few weeks now. It seems to be helping more than, it's probably why I felt good yesterday. I just, I was like, wow. So I didn't take it for a while because I didn't take anything at the end of my taper. I had to come off hormones, everything. I was just like, it was like, put on the brakes. So yeah, I would just act with a bit of caution. I think I've decided to just see how I do over the next few months with just the hair loss has slowed down, which is good. So I'm hoping it's the estrogen and not the T3 necessarily it's causing the hair loss and the weight gain. I don't know. The benzo belly still persists. I don't know how many of you are experiencing it, but it is like the strangest thing on the planet. It's like you feel like, I swell up when I eat, I swell up when I don't eat. It's like a paradox. I'm thinking, how could, how you normally when you go a long time without eating, like I'll go all night, 12 hours, I won't eat anything, and I get up and, you should be really hungry, and I'm not. I'm like just, I'll feel more what I've experienced, and I don't know if you guys do or not, but what I experience with it is a sense of the symptoms getting worse, like the electrical currents, the swelling. Like I said, I'll just kind of like somebody's pumping me full of air if I don't eat, often enough. And then just, I don't know, it's just strange. I ate a salad just a little bit ago, and it's like, it was a big salad, but still, I don't recall anything like this. And I've done a lot of research on the benzo belly thing. It looked all over the place, and nobody really has a plausible explanation for what causes that phenomena. It's like the most reasonable post I saw that makes most sense to me anyway is that it has something to do with we all have tight muscles. The muscles can't relax, so it's the same thing with your stomach muscles. They don't really relax. They have, because I know, I don't feel swollen just there, but I'll get up days and it's like, and I don't think I'm retaining water because I pee like crazy, even though I drink a lot of water, but I won't be able to get my rings off. Normally I have no problem like now getting everything off, but there'll be days where it's like I feel like Miss Fatty. It's like the most bizarre thing I have ever experienced. So share some thoughts with me on that, because I like to get your guys' feedback. I don't know what you guys are experiencing with it. If it feels the same way, I'm not sure, because I've just seen what I've read, and most people it's like a year, some people 2 years later they still have it, and I'm thinking, am I ever going to have like a normal looking stomach again? I didn't have kids, so it's like I don't have an excuse for this besides the benzos. So curious, would like to have some feedback on all that. So so then the real thing I wanted to talk to you about, the main I know I drift but I have a lot of second thoughts about things, so you have to bear with me on it. Anyway, I don't know how many of you read the article I posted in the Legal Action group on Facebook. Some of you are members, some have not, maybe. it was a post on the legal action being taken in Ohio. The Attorney General, Mike DeWine, is filing a suit against 5 pharmaceutical companies, including Johnson & Johnson, for the opioid crisis there. And the reason I wanted to discuss this a little today is because I feel that, and I wrote the reporter from NPR about my feelings about the opioid crisis, and I know it's a big problem, especially up there. They have 200,000 cases of addiction to this stuff up in Ohio, and that is like the size of the city of Akron, like the whole population. That's a lot of people. And aside from Mississippi, I think, who also has filed a similar case, according to this article, earlier this year sometime, and I didn't hear about that one, so I'm not real familiar, but the case in Ohio, and I called the Attorney General's office today. I should know better than to call government officials' office, that I'm not going to get anywhere, but you know, they're questioning me why I'm calling and inquiring. I mean, it's like I'm the KGB. Maybe that's, I don't know. And they're not very informative. I asked him a couple questions like, you know, is the suit going to support some of these people that are coming off these drugs whose lives have been destroyed by them? Because, you know, from what I can tell, the only people that have the money to file class action suits, and I don't know how much of it, there wasn't really any information, so I don't know how much of it's going to state programs to help these people, how much of it's going to the state itself for the cost of hospitalization for these drugs, recovery programs. I don't know how much Ohio pays for, so it's not real clear how much they're filing for. I didn't get a dollar figure. It didn't seem to mention that in the article, but I'm going to post that for you guys to read, because I think it's interesting to see what'll come out of this, because I was hoping from my letter with the NPR reporter that at the very least I could make some contacts to sort of network to see what the possibility would be of getting class action suits going for the benzos or something, because I'm still not clear, and maybe again some of you have the answers for this as well, why there isn't a class action suit being pursued in any state. Because I realize that some states are probably harder hit than others, but like the thing with the opioid crisis, and you know, you see something on the news where they're dropping dead from this stuff every day, and yet the same things happen with the benzos, and the only time it gets any headlines is when somebody like Chris Cornell dies, you know. And not that that's not tragic, but it takes a rock star or a musician to drop dead from the drugs before we get any attention with the benzos. And I told the reporter that I think that the whole benzo thing is sort of being overshadowed because of all the headline news the opioids are getting. And I know that opioids are difficult. I don't know if they're considered a worse drug than benzos. I think it really depends on the person. As you all know, we're like part of this 30 percentile that has these horrible reactions and gets violently ill from coming off the drugs, where you talk to some of these people, you just want to strangle them because like they went off and had not one problem. And I mean, I talked to a guy in California who, if he gets down to under 3 milligrams of Klonopin, which is what he's trying to taper off of, he can't handle it. He's just like, you know, he has all these, I think he said manic episodes, and then, oh no, I talked to him over the weekend, he wasn't doing very good. And so some of this is just, I know there's a lot of silent sufferers out there that don't talk to anybody because they're afraid of getting their hand slapped by another doctor or their family or somebody who doesn't believe them. And it's just, the worst part of this is not just the physical withdrawal symptoms, but the mental that you're going through from other people sort of disregarding that this is really as much of a problem as they think. And it's hard to, because if the media is not acknowledging it and the doctors are not acknowledging it and we're not getting the media attention that the opioids is, then nobody really believes us. And this is why I keep pushing forward with my nonprofit and making the phone calls that I do and doing the research that I do, because I think somewhere along the line somebody's got to make enough noise that they pay attention to it, or it's just going to sit there and, well, I don't think it'll just sit there. I think it's going to get worse, and if it gets worse than it already is, then we're in for, as you all know about my stories that I've told on here, the problems associated with this, as far as it costing, you know, us a gazillion dollars in medical benefits for Medicare and Medicaid. And I'm still like really sure from my own experience, and the healthier I get as I keep healing and I keep moving down my path, I keep realizing that, oh my God, I can't believe how sick this stuff was making me. And the better I feel, the more I can see the contrast of now versus when I was really sick in withdrawal 2 years ago during the, well, I can't say that was the worst part of it, because it was 5 years of living hell. Honestly, every day was a struggle. I mean, there was some windows in there where, you know, I could function more to do certain things than others, but honestly, the contrast is significant. And the further you guys get out from your Tabor, I think you'll begin to see what I'm talking about, is that looking back and going, you just, like yesterday, what I was saying yesterday, I felt so good and just this really peaceful, calm. I mean, I don't think I felt that calm and that, you know, I've just really had no anxiety really to speak of for months. And even, and this morning I had a little tiny bit, it was just, you know, barely noticeable. I got up and I went to the grocery store, and on the way over there I'm thinking, God, I felt so good and calm yesterday, and then where did this come from? Because I mean, I slept good, and I've been having a good week since I went off the thyroid medication. It's been a decent few days, and I'm looking forward to more, because I'm thinking maybe that was actually prolonging my discomfort and my healing. So that's why I've decided to just kind of go over the summer, the next few months. I can't believe it's June already. Oh my God, you know. So happy summer almost. We're almost at solstice, summer solstice. So it's just hard to wrap my head around it. That much time has passed already, and it goes fast when you start getting better, because you're not staring at the clock waiting for your next time to take your next taper. And I mean, that's all my life was about for a while, was, is it time to take my drug yet, you know? And I just so glad to have that ball and chain behind me, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, that feeling of just being present yesterday and feeling good, and just feeling like I wanted to engage and be part of life again. And that's nice to have that coming back. It really is. I've been out and running errands almost every day this week, which is unusual for me. I try to, you know, pick a day or two to do all my running around, but unfortunately I pulled a sort of a weird one with I changed, like I said, I changed internet providers, because the one I was with was just the customer service, and I won't name names, but anyway, I actually had a better modem with this one, and the tech guy came out Monday night. He had to come back because they have to drill a hole and put in a whole new box. It's an older house, so it's just it was just a pain, because I thought I was going to have a longer cord, because it had to reach the phone jack, because it's a DSL and not cable. And so I went and got to Walmart and got a 25-foot cord, and realized that I got the wrong one. I had needed a phone line cord and not a cable cord, or like, you know, an internet, Ethernet they call it. And so I went back thinking that I needed different cords. And I mean, that's twice in one day. There's no way in hell I would have done that even a few months ago or 6 months ago. Walmart I don't know about you guys, but for me, Walmart is more than I can take once a year. But to do it twice in a day and manage it relatively well and handle the clerks and all that stuff, I was really impressed with how well I held up. It's been a stressful couple of days. And then on Tuesday, the guy comes back to hook it up Tuesday night, and I find out that I don't need either of the cords that I went to Walmart for. So now they're sitting on my table because I just haven't had it within me to go back to Walmart, because I have some stuff that I ordered online that they're supposed to be leaving there, and I'm waiting for the other item that is supposed to come in so that I can just go make one more trip. Otherwise, it's going to take 3 more trips over there if the other item doesn't come in, and I have to take the phone cords back and go get the other item. So anyway, 3 trips to Walmart in 1 week. We're doing good. I mean to tell you, I have been out, and driving around, and I mean, not just to the post office, just little runs. I am going all the way across town, to take the modem back and grocery shopping. It's been a long time since I've been out of the house almost every day for something, because I'll typically run a couple errands and then I won't go anywhere for a couple of days. It's just, maybe some of it's out of habit too, not so much that I can't anymore, but some of it's just out of habit, and some of it's just out of, I don't want to drive, I don't want to spend the gas money, so some of it's just that. But I had to this week because of all the stuff I had going on, so it was a pretty intense thing. But the cool thing is that after I quit the thyroid, it was like, I still have some pain. I'm having trouble with my right hand. I don't know if you guys have this too, but when I wake up in the morning, this finger in particular is really, and I don't know whether I've just got some arthritis in it, or that's the thing with this stuff, is that you don't know how much of it is normal aging or how much of it is from the benzos. You start blaming everything on the benzos. Well, I'm pretty sure this is, because this is all tight and my hand will be bent shut, and it hurts so bad. It's like I got to practically pry it open, And it's good once I get up and I move and I go swimming and everything. I'm good. I don't have any pain right now. But I've had weird things. Like the other night I was recording, and the whole top of this hand started burning. I mean, burning really bad, and then tingling, and then so much so that I could barely squeeze my mouse to work. But I kind of muscled through it, and then about 30 minutes later it was just gone, and it hasn't come back. And that's the only time I've had that symptom. So there's weirdness with these benzos. It's like you don't know what's going to trigger you. So so what I've just done is I found a set of supplements. I think I shared a video with you on those particular things, and I kind of rotate them, so I'm not taking the same thing all the time. And I think that I've kind of got a good routine now with that I am really not being affected too much by the supplements anymore. Not that I'm aware of, but I've been doing like a lot of weird things lately. Like I put in my vitamin order, and there was stuff in the box that I could swear I didn't order. I don't know if you guys do that too still, but it just seems like I mean, I'm pretty clear and my memory's good, and I can think really good, but then sometimes I'm questioning when I do stuff like this. I mean, it's like, was somebody else at that computer putting the order in when, because I was like really surprised. I'm thinking, and I did it instead of my B vitamins, my usually B vitamins that I get, because I get a B complex that I like, food grade, and there was this and not the B vitamins. So I must have I have this thing in iHerb where I have my wish list, and I can just click on them and put them in my cart, so it's real easy since I order mostly the same things all the time. And I must have clicked that icon instead of the B vitamins. So there's a lot of weirdness with this, and I'm not, I'm gonna get on here and we're gonna have a party when I actually have a solid month where I feel good, and not a single bad day or a single even moderately bad day. I mean a good month where I felt good for an entire month with really no major issues. So we're all gonna get on and maybe we'll I should be promoting drinking a pop. I don't drink anyway, so maybe we'll do, this is my Kool-Aid. I have my electrolytes. This is a, I think it's called, I don't think what the name of it is, but it's really good. If you guys need a good electrolyte, which I recommend because there's magnesium in this, and helps keep me regular and keeps you hydrated, sodium, potassium. This is a raspberry, and I mixed the raspberry and lemonade flavor together, and it's yummy. It's not, it doesn't have sugar, it doesn't have artificial flavoring or colors. That's just raspberry flavor, but it tastes pretty good, so I tend to drink more water because it tastes good, you know. So I would recommend that for electrolytes if you guys need anything that, especially during the summer. It's like 107 here right now. I mean, it's probably not that hot anywhere else, you know. We're in Phoenix area, so this is a time of the year that I sit in and make videos and record music because it's too hot to go anywhere. So I do all my running around in the morning while it's still relatively cool, like 90. Of course, we're used to that. So, and then the monsoon rolls in next month, and it's humid on top of being hot. So those are the 2 months that I suffer through because I do not like the humidity. I'm used to the dry. This doesn't bother me. In fact, I just turned my air on a little while ago and it was like 88 in here, something like that. So everybody swelters around me, but that's one reason I need to live alone, because I have to have control over the thermostat. In the last few places I've lived, they keep it too cold for me. So I want to think if I had anything else for today. Mainly I wanted to talk about the opioid thing because I'm still going to pursue this. I want to see if there's any possibility of there being some sort of class action that's going to help the people that are being affected by this. Because right now I'm kind of skeptical when their office is, of course the guy just seemed like, you know, he was probably a volunteer or something who was working there and didn't have access to the information. So I kind of got deflected a little bit, and you know, I guess I'm sort of used to that. But it just seems like to me that I don't know whether they quelch information to just hide the fact that maybe they're taking advantage of the situation to raise more money for the state. I don't want to say that, but I'm just skeptical about everything after what's happened to me, and I know you guys are too, but I want to know, and I think it should be the public's right to know, since those are our hired officials, but we all know they're not really hired by us, that they're hired by Big Pharma and all the other companies that are lining their pockets. So I think we have a right to know that information about where that money's going and what they're suing for, and a breakdown of the expenses. And I'm sure they'll have that in the case, but if you guys happen to come across more information, please email me and send me links to stuff that you find if you do come across some articles or more information if you're in Ohio and this is on the news. I don't know how many of you listen to this that you're in Ohio. Or Mississippi, because they're doing this too, and I don't know that much about the case in Mississippi, but please share that with me so that I can pass it on to the legal action group and also to anybody else that wants the information, because that's what I'm here for. It's about education and awareness, and that's what the Follow Your Bliss Foundation is. So now is the opportune moment for me to do my plug. The links are all below. Please get a membership for as little as $1 a month and help support our videos and our blogs and our website and all the awareness that goes along with it. Patreon account, it's fun. I've got a lot of neat stuff up there. I just posted, we're releasing the 3rd track from my CD this week. It should be tomorrow, maybe over the weekend, I'm not sure yet. And this has been really a fun project for me because it's been kind of my lifeblood while I've been recovering. And I highly recommend to all of you that if you have something you enjoy as much as I enjoy my music, is to immerse yourself in it, and the time will go by much quicker. I mean, I can't believe it's like every time I turn around, rent is due again, and I'm like, God, you know, it just, the first of the month comes around too fast. And when you get busy and you're healing again and you're out bad participating in your life, you'll see what I mean, because it's a slow, arduous passing of time coming off these drugs, and you just can't wait till it's over. And it's not completely over for me yet, but I would say about 90% of the way back. And just kind of, you know, I think over the next several months I'll start to see a lot more improvement, and hopefully I won't need the thyroid medication, knock on wood, because that's the other thing I was going to mention, is that a lot of these people that are having thyroid issues, they said that their thyroid tests and hormones and blood sugar, this big swings in the tests, and that's because I think your body's just trying to re-regulate itself. And the other thing was blood sugar. I think I talked about this in one of my videos on diet, about the terrible blood sugar issues I had after the Lunesta for a couple months, and I did a really high protein, low carb thing for several months. And of course it boosted my cholesterol up because I was eating too many eggs, but my blood sugar, my A1C was perfect. I mean, I had no shakes, and I had to eat something every 2 hours, or I couldn't even, I was shaking this bad, just like this. I couldn't get a spoon to my mouth. It was terrible. And now I go hours without eating and nothing, you know, just other than maybe a few increase in symptoms, the swelling thing, some of the other things I talked about. But these seem to be kind of common residual things after you are done with the acute withdrawal. This seems to be the most common denominator between all people: the benzo belly, the tight muscles, the electrical currents, no sensation of feeling hunger or fullness. You know, I had a huge salad. It wasn't this big, but it was pretty big. And, you know, granted, I put mostly greens on it, you know, spinach and, you know, spring vegetables, greens, and you know, so it's a big plate of greens, it's just vegetables. And then I make my own dressing and put a few flax seeds and stuff on it. But I eat and eat and eat that big salad, and it's like, I'm like, am I gonna feel full yet? It's just kind of like, you just sort of feel like this. It's a strange thing. It's like it's swollen and it's all there, but it's like, I would show it to you. I mean, you guys can comment if you want to see my benzo belly. I don't know if I've got the courage to do that yet, but I don't know. It might gross you out too, so I don't know. I want to get on there. And I mean, you know, I know you're having, if you're in withdrawal right now, you're tapering, you probably, the last thing you want to hear about or see is my benzo belly. So anyway, but I've talked to a lot of people with these same reoccurring things, and I want to reassure you that these are perfectly natural, normal things that you're going to go through as you recover, and you will get better. I didn't want to believe anybody either that was on the other end of it, that had been off the meds for over a year, because that seems to be where the healing point for most people is that 1 to 3 year range, where there seems to be a lot of shifts in how you feeling better in general. And I would have to concur that is probably pretty accurate. If you guys know Don Killian at all, him and I have been sharing information for I think since about December, maybe 6 months. It was when I came off of the Lunesta and I was in pretty bad shape, and I had reached out to him to get some support, and he's amazing. He's really a great resource, and I would encourage you to check out his videos, because he has a lot of great resources on his website, and a very kind man and a very compassionate man who has done a lot of research himself on this stuff and is very well informed and educated on the topic. So I would recommend reaching out to him if you have anything that I can't answer, or if you just want to watch his videos, because I know how much these videos, that's why I do these, because I know how much they help other people that are in the worst stages of this, because that was all I could do some nights, was just lay there, and I couldn't even watch the videos. Sometimes I would just listen. But Don's videos have been really helpful to me, and I got a lot of information about the phenibut from him, which a lot of people don't know about. So that's why I've got on here and told you not to take that Chill 6 or anything with phenylbutyrate. Cavanase is another one by Neuroscience. Do not take that stuff. It is a great way to build up tolerance, and fortunately I'm having a pretty easy slide with getting off the rest of that. It's you know, I think the Lunesta and the Benzos, once you get that out of your system, you're kind of just down to like one thing that it seems to drop 200, I think about 200 milligrams off that dose, and it's going to take me about a year at the rate I'm going, but I want to feel good, and if it takes me a year to get off of it, then so be it. I was at a point where after the Lunesta, I could not handle any more withdrawal. It's bad enough to just have these days where my muscles are so tight that I don't feel like I get out of bed to even walk to the bathroom. There are still some of those nights. So, and you know, the hand thing in the morning sort of, you know, in general, it's sort of freaky because I'm a keyboard player, you know, and it's not something that I want to lose the use of, is the ability to play, because that's sort of my one pastime when I get really I need to distract myself really bad. And even last night, you know, I mean, I've been waiting to get this mix back on the last song, and I sat down and I wrote a new song, and I played for a couple of hours, and just, it is a release. It is my endorphin release. So if you guys can find something, needlepoint, you know, so I used to draw tapestry work. I would show you one of them, but I'd have to tear it down off the wall and then hang it. It'd be kind of a hassle. So, but find something, you know. The best thing you can do to pass the time with this is an artistic project. Put a crossword puzzle together. I love to do those, and you know, it's kind of a mindless thing where all you have, even if you stick the same piece in this same puzzle part for 10 times, who's going to care? If it takes you 10 months to put one together, at least it's a distraction. So, you know, these are just things that I am recommending just because of my own experience with it. I found that, I mean, I haven't touched my screenplay work in probably about a year, maybe not that long, about 10 months. This last fall, I think, was the last I'd done. I just got burnt out being in front of my computer. I wanted to be outside running around. Once I got off the Lunesta, it was like a whole different world for me, because I was able to do a lot more and play music again, and I was invested in creating all the stuff for my CD, so I didn't really want to sit. And I've had a couple times where I thought, well, I'm going to sit down and work on the second one, because the first one I'm trying to sell. The second one is fun, and I've told a couple people about the basic idea behind it, so I'm kind of, you know, I think the creative juices are stirring on that one, and I may go back to it after, maybe during the summer, because it, you know, gets pretty brutal, and you don't want to go anywhere here in July and August, hardly at all, so unless it's air conditioned. So that's probably what I'll do to pass the time, other than finishing my CD. But like I said, I'm kind of involved in that right now, and it feels really good. And I just want to encourage you guys, because I didn't think I'd be singing again. I never thought I'd be doing this. I was always on the other side listening to other people's videos about how good they were doing. I'm like, I wanted to throw tomatoes. And I'm sure you want to do that to me right now, but don't throw tomatoes, please. So anyway, I think that's all I have. I'm going to leave all the links to everything below. Share my videos, subscribe, like, do whatever you want. You can throw them in your trash. I'm just here to help navigate the waters for those of you who I know are having a really difficult time, because it is hard, and I don't mean to make light. I just am trying to make levity more than anything, because you need something a little bit not so heavy, and that's why I do mine the way I do, because I like the other videos, but they're kind of a little bit too heavy and serious for me. And even now, I've quit watching a lot of stuff connected with benzos, just because I'm busy with my life, and I don't want to go back there. I don't want to revisit all the nightmares from it. So I try to just educate myself enough for my nonprofit work and to help those of you that still need support. And I love you guys. You guys are warriors. All of you guys are warriors that do this. It's the hardest thing in the world to do, and a lot of people don't make it off these drugs. And so be well, and stay the course, and email me or write if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer them. So you guys have a good weekend, and I will talk to you soon, okay? Bye.